Now, here comes the biggest point of all. Socialism and communism have always included people who do not believe that you get socialism unless you change the organization of work. In other words, they don't want to hear about more government, less government. For them, those are different kinds of capitalism. And you can prefer one to the other. That makes sense. You can be a passionate person about having the government have minimum wages and daycare centers and pensions for old people and all. Oh, fine. They're for that. Being lefty types, they're for all of that. But for them, I'm going to exaggerate now, but not by much, that has nothing to do with socialism. You can call it that, we don't care. But we would prefer you to do a little bit of respect for this other definition that's always been there, and that is in Marx, in case you need an authority for it. Here's how it goes. For much of the recent history of the world, recent being 2,000-3,000 years, maybe a bit more, an awful lot of production of goods and services that we all depend on, our food, our clothing, our shelter, all of that, has been organized with a small group of people in a position of power and dominance, and a mass of people who do the bulk of the work. In slavery, it's the master and the slave. In feudalism, it's the lord and the serf. Here we go now. And in capitalism, it's the employer and the employee. Therefore, we, socialists and communists, who don't agree with this more or less government, we are the ones whose argument is to have socialism, you have to get over the dichotomy as a way of organizing production. Not just get rid of master-slave, not just get rid of lord and serf. That was, if you will allow me, the mistake of the revolutionaries who brought us capitalism. They thought overcoming slavery and overcoming feudalism was the path to liberty, equality, fraternity, and democracy. In other words, Jefferson, John Locke were wrong. Because the problem is capitalism cannot usher in democracy because it is fundamentally undemocratic itself. It doesn't break from the employer-employee model. Therefore, for us, these people would argue, socialism requires that break. Whatever the government is designed to do or not do, what has to change is the organization of production. It has to be, and now I'm going to be sharp with you, but to make the point, you have to finally democratize the enterprise. That which democracy was excluded from the beginning. How strange. The place that adults spend most of their lives at work, 9 to 5, an hour or two beforehand brushing your teeth to get ready, an hour or two at the bar with the happy hour recovering from. This is your life, Jack, 5 out of 7 days. If you believe in democracy, this is the first place, but we don't allow it there. We think it's important to vote to elect the mayor because he has influence over us. The mayor makes decisions we have to live with, so we must have some democratic power over the mayor. Yo, Jack, when you go to work, the CEO, he's not only got the power to affect your life, he can fire you. He can take away your life and your family and your community. You don't elect him. You have no power over him at all. There is no democracy in the capitalist workplace.